legalists. So I thought it would be fun today. As you can see, I've got a new background. So it's not the blue board anymore. And I've incorporated all of my law books as well as that's my cat, by the way. He's joining in too. As well as other books focusing on philosophy and spirituality and personal growth in my library that I'm going to be using on this channel. But I thought it would be fun to organize it according to numerology. So this is just a crazy idea I had the other morning. I've never done this before, and I've never thought of my law books fitting into certain specific numbers. So let's see how this is actually going to work out. So I'm just going to pull up here this numerology chart that I quickly did today. Okay, so we are going up to number 6. And that is because of this little dice here. We only go up to number 6. And the way that we're going to be working on this channel is we are going to be using the dice to see where we fall on a specific day and where we are supposed to be. So that is why we are going up to number 6. Okay. And this here just gives a brief explanation of the meaning behind each of the numbers. So at the moment my bookshelf is not organized. This is not correct at all. So by the end of this video it's going to be looking very different. Okay, so number 1, which I thought initially was actually going to be this entire section here, which is actually not any official law book. I actually think fits better into number 6, which is about love, healing, service, empathy. So I think this over here fits more into number 6, not number 1. Initially I thought it was more of the foundation, but I don't really see any subjects that would fit into a category in terms of positive law of emotional and unconditional love and empathy and heart and soul. That is definitely more spiritual. But also I couldn't put this the whole as number 6, so I put number 5 here as well. Okay, let's start with number 1, okay, which is about birth, origin, creation, leadership, independence. So in law, the very first subject that we do is, or one of the very first, is personhood, because that forms the foundation of being able to represent in court, being able to appear in court. It's all based on your personhood. And that is this book over here. Okay, so legal subject, I think, falls under number 1. I've also got the casebook here, but you know what? These casebooks are just going to take up space. So I'm keeping them at the bottom of my bookshelf. I'm actually going to take these out. Now this book over here, Unjustified Enrichment and Estoppel. This book over here, a very important book. It's quite small, okay, but also one of the cornerstones of law, because ultimately what leads to other aspects of law, such as delicts and even damages based on contract, is that someone can't be enriched unjustly or at the expense of another. Estoppel is also based on the concept of, if you represent something to someone, you can't later on represent the opposite and then prejudice that person based on your misrepresentation. So estoppel is actually very forceful because it denies the aldi alter partem. When you stop someone because you're saying, you represented this to me, the effect is that you're stopping them from saying anything further or from misrepresenting further. So it's very forceful, and I would say it's definitely a foundation or one of the origins of law, because you're not going to find this in any act. This is based on doctrine, very old doctrines of law. And I'm going to go up to steps for each one. Six books. So, I knew this would be kind of tricky. So let's move on to number 2. Okay, we'll come back to number 1. Number 2 is about feminism, so grace, balance, so like the scales of justice, mediation, teamwork, partnership. Okay, so it's the opposite of control and authority. So the first one that comes to me, and I think this one is quite simple, is family law. I think that is actually over here, South African family law. So the way these go, another one that also comes to my mind is statutory interpretations. This book is very important when you're dealing with law and certain legislation, in understanding and interpreting what has been said. It's about reading in and understanding context, and I think because it's then about creating balance and harmony, that I think this fits into number 2. I also then caught my eye. This book here, it was one of the last subjects I did for my degree, litigation skills. Very, very important book for any lawyer who wants to appear in court and litigate. And again, the scales of justice, Lady Justice, she's blind, but she's very powerful and she's very graceful. And in a way, you have to present yourself in the same way in court. You are going into battle with your sword, and you've got to say things the right way, do things the right way. There's a certain duty that you have towards the court. And in that respect, it's actually a very feminine energy. Another one that came to my mind, because it's about partnerships. Sorry, before I get to that, definitely African customary law. I'm sure you guys have heard of Ubuntu. It's very much in a spirit of mediation, support, teamwork. Without a doubt, this has to go. We have 4 books there already. I'm in 2 months with a business, since it's about partnership and therefore business structures, where the entrepreneurial law and business structures should go under number 2. I'm not sure though. The reason I'm not sure is because although they're structures requiring partnerships and teamworks, they can come across as very controlling and a very kind of top-down structural approach. So maybe, but I'm a bit undecided on these 2, whether they go under number 2. I'm not sure where they would go then, to be honest. So I'm going to put them aside. I think I'm going to put labor law under number 2. I've actually had myself a very unpleasant experience in terms of dealing with labor law. But in the ideal world, right, everything should be fair in the labor world, should be based on harmony, on mediation, and on teamwork, balance, and peace. So I'm going to put that over there. So number 2 is relatively easy, and I've just had an idea. For number 1, I actually put it down here. We'll get to this one. One of my favorite subjects in law is legal philosophy, and I think this also falls down as one of the origins and foundations in law, because just like with unjustified enrichment and estoppel, we're dealing with ancient writers and researchers here who developed theories of law that we are still talking about today. It might change though, and I don't think it actually, but I'm just going to put it that. So number 3 is about artisticness, curiosity, youthful communication. Okay. I have a book here. First of all, I'm going to take this out. Okay, I don't think we need the Companies Act per se, so I'm also going to put and if we need it, we can always come and refer to it. Right, so I have a book here. Computer law, evidence and procedure. So it's actually my husband's book, so it's not particularly recent, but I've got it here anyway. And because it's technologically based, it's going under communication. Now in force, although I wouldn't describe it as autistic, the part where we are communicating the most, dealing with witnesses, cross-examination, re-examination is evidence. So, lo and behold, principles of evidence. So, I'm actually regretting it that I never did copyright law, which could have gone there, definitely. I'm not sure now what's going to go with it, so let's move on. And 4, and this one is actually the easiest for law. It's been one of my struggles in creating this channel on law, is generally law is quite a dull topic. Okay, we're dealing with rules, it's very rigid, okay. But as we can actually see, it's not all that rigid. We've already found other categories. Okay, but I mean, already we've got civil procedure. Well, I found this one first, criminal procedure. I'm running out of space. Okay, so we have criminal procedure, and we all know how the courts are in terms of procedure, following this rule, that rule, asking for condemnation, if you're late. It can be actually very frustrating and actually inhibit justice. And I'm putting it with AMLA's precedents, because you've got to follow certain, when you're doing a pleading, you've got to follow a certain course of action, you know, follow the right forms. So I can't find, I will find it, I'm just getting a bit swamped here. My civil procedure book, but I was thinking of putting succession under number 3, which is communication, because succession is about communicating your last wishes to your loved ones once you become deceased. Okay, so I think it goes there, which is number 3. I might still change these, by the way. Dialects and also damages. These 2 books here, they very much provide an approach in the law to mischief. My cat is okay. He'll probably be back up now. So their often approach to dealing with the law, very rational, very consistent, very practical. You're sticking to what's tried and tested. Everything I'm seeing under number 4. So I'm going to put those there for now. Number 5. Freedom and adventure, experimentation, change, unattached, adaptable, social, independent. Okay, freedom brings to my mind the Bill of Rights. In actual fact, since we decided that succession goes under number 3, I'm putting wills and trusts. But like I said, guys, this might change. That's the great thing about being open to change. It's never too good to be fixed on something. Because how can you ever learn? Like, I love these books, so I'm still going to be keeping them, even if they're not strictly law-based. So here's my book over here, the Bill of Rights handbook, going under number 5. Very much about socialness. I'm wondering where criminal law should go. Because remember, with civil, it's always on a balance of probabilities when you decide a case, whereas criminal, I would say, is very much black and white. You're innocent, and once you're proven guilty, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. But now, as I suspected, 4 is filling up very quickly. And number 1 is still empty. It's only got 3 books: Birth, Origin, Creation. So, if we look at contract law, we have freedom, provided it's lawful, to enter into any contract. And nobody, not even the state, can interfere in that contract. So, while I would say it's very independent and unattached, and there's freedom, which would be number 5, on the other hand, the notes that I've got here say that it's unreliable and non-committal, which is the opposite of contract. Contract, you are bound by your word, so it's very committal, and it's very reliable, because no one can interfere with that, and because you are bound by that contract, and the courts can't even change that contract. They just have to interpret it and apply it if you do find yourself in a situation where there's a litigation about a contract. So I would say it's definitely very forceful. I think it goes under number 1. And we also have insolvency. I'm not sure where insolvency would go. It's definitely tied to law of persons because it has an effect on your estate. Perhaps it should go under number 3. You know, when someone spends too much, they're shallow, they're not focused, they're naive in the sense that they don't have knowledge about money, then as a result of that you become insolvent. So I think it goes under number 3. So we got 5 books here, 5 here, but I need my civil procedure book, which has annoyingly disappeared. We have also 5 here, we have about 4 here. So we're getting there, guys, we're getting there. And then we have 1 here, but I did take out quite a lot. Where does international come from? This is very much about treaties, about respecting state sovereignty, also supposedly about world peace. I'm thinking number 2. And it fits. So, number 2 is done. Okay. Negotiable instrument. Here's my... which goes with this, the Bill of Exchange. Where does that go? So number 4 is out, number 2 is out, unless we swap. And I wouldn't describe negotiable instruments as feminine. Number 5. Number 5. Which leaves me with... Okay, so I've got 2 books in workplace, so we don't need to. Basically, yeah, I've got stack, which is business structures and entrepreneurial law. And I have a dictionary. Don't think we need a dictionary up there. You can have it lower down. and they are short because of 4 we complete, 3 we're not, so we're missing 1 here, 2 here, so I'm not going to worry, 5. Guys, I'm going to pause and see if I can find my civil book. Okay, I am back and I've got my civil procedure book. And that's going to go with number 4. So number 4 is complete, number 2 is complete. And then I've decided that we're going to put business structures, okay, with number 3 being communication, those kind of structures. So it may change, but I haven't really been able to figure out another spot for it. And because business structures are very much interrelated with entrepreneurial law, I'm going to be putting this at the bottom of my shelf for now because this is actually more of just an introductory module to that, but we can always replace it. Right, so the only ones that are not complete now are 1 and 5, and then of course 6. With number 1 being the foundation, the origin, and actually the most powerful of this entire section, excluding, I think, number 6, is property law. Okay, so property rights are one of the most forceful, powerful rights that you can have, and they are very foundational, and so for that reason it's going over here. And then of course going with the Bill of Rights, which ultimately comes from our Constitution, okay, is this book over here. So it doesn't actually have a label on the side. I'm going to have to probably lie it down. The constitutional law will then go with number 5, okay, which is the structure of how our Bill of Rights and our whole country is set up in terms of our new constitution, which is independent. Right, so with number 1, I'm also going to put this book over here, administrative law. That's dealing specifically with decisions that are made, okay? And for that, it goes under number 1 because it also has a powerful independent nature to it. So number 1 is complete. We are all done, okay, except for number 5. We need 2 more books to complete number 5, okay, which is freedom, adventure, experimentation, change. That, I have this book over here. The Rise and Rise of Human Rights by Kirsten Sadler. So although our rights might seem like they're very fixed and firm, I know it seems a bit strange that they're in a section where a weakness in numerology is that they're unreliable. But how often are we seeing, even with the pandemic, outstanding constitutions that protect freedom of speech, freedom of movement, just inherent dignity? We're seeing how, through the abuse of power, they're being trampled on. So yes, they're there and they are inherent in every human being, but to some extent they're unreliable unless people continue to have the courage to speak up and stand up for their rights. So for now, I think that is the correct positioning for that. Because as we know, corruption seems to follow us even where there's a constitution. So that still leaves us with 5 being short. Before we do that, let's do number 6 before we finish number 5. Okay, number 6 is about unconditional love, healing, empathy. It's very emotional, it's very supportive, and it's very, to some extent, spiritual. And we are not, I believe, one-dimensional beings. And whenever we look at law and we apply law, at least in my case, I would like to do so holistically, taking into account the whole being and even our whole existence. So under number 6, which is over here, I've got quite a few books here that I chose, and as time goes, because we're only going to choose 6, you can always just switch them up. So I've got this book here, The Complete Astrologer, and according to my belief and according to what sages have meditated on for years, we each have our own karma. And the way I've come to understand it over reflecting on the chart, which we're going to be doing in all of my videos, the chart of life, every single, actually let me do that, just for a moment. So this chart here encapsulates our entire existence in this life, and the range of emotions and feelings and levels that we go through, not only throughout our entire lifetime, but every single day. We're going through this, we're going up, we're going down, and this is all based on sages who reflected on life. And this is what they identified, certain patterns, right? So I actually found this, and I'm going to be incorporating it. And all of these things here, which are all determined by the throw of the die, where you land is our karma. And we each have our own unique karma. And the understanding that I've come to is depending on the day you're born, where you're born, your name, all of these factors, including numerology, there's a certain karma. And so that comes with that. So by implication, there's an element of astrology. And so that's why I will definitely be reviewing this book under number 6. And this is my Bible. I've had it since I was a girl, and I haven't gotten a new one since. And so that's going to actually stay there, just out of respect to God. And I have this book which was given to me. So I'm a little Catholic, and we embrace differing views of thought, including more esoteric thoughts. And one of the beliefs is that Krishna energy and Christ energy are the same. And he actually gave me this book on my 21st birthday. And with that book goes this one. If you want to know why, you can leave a comment. So we've already got 3 books. I'm going with the life and teachings of Jesus and Mary. And because on this channel we are combining law with a holistic view into our everyday experience of life, I think this book would be appropriate. It's called The Law of Life. And also this book, The Study of Moral Values. Alright, so that brings us to 6 books there. And just looking at this, I am thinking, so these books are not, they're going to go at the bottom of my bookshelf, so you can always access them at a later date. So, number 5, which is about freedom and adventure, experimentation, change, unattached, adaptable, right? It's not a law book per se, but I think we can agree this section over here is kind of, it's different from what's up here, okay? I, on my journey, have been searching for financial freedom and getting a proper financial education. And in doing so, I've been reading this book by Robert Kiyosaki. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm going to put it under number 5. because I want to be financially independent, and I'm all about changing my ways, even my ways of thinking about money, about handling my money, and what the heck, I mean, life's a game, right? So I think we'd all love to be in the I quadrant. I'm going to put that down. And it goes with the money, so like there's a lot of daddy to be very auspiciously yet. Okay, so the Bible only puts down here. And so there it is, all done and ready for us to get started. So that's how my bookshelf is now ordered according to numerology. Of course, it's open to adaptation, and I welcome new books, replacing these books, and so that we can continue to learn and to grow on this journey as legalists together. I'll see and chat to you guys soon. Bye!